Well, welcome back, everyone. As you know, we're very involved with Saratoga's centennial. And the more we get into it, the more we find out that there are these wonderful people involved in a bunch of these subcommittees, really uncovering, rediscovering things about our city here, Saratoga. And joining me today is someone who you've just got to meet, Carol Daggs. Welcome, Carol.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Very nice to have you here. Carol brings a unique perspective in this on a couple of reasons. And I want to talk about the exhibit that Carol is putting on at the Spa Little Theater. And we'll get to that. But before then, you should know that she is a massage therapist. Sidebar there for Lisa and Alicia and everybody down at the Center for Natural Wellness. She's a graduate of that school in Albany. And she owns her own massage therapy and wellness center here in Saratoga called JazzageInterview Massage Therapy. And JazzageInterview Massage Therapy has a lot to do with you being a therapist, but also the fact that you're a musician. So there's all kinds of connections here. The heart of the matter, however, is the lineage of the Daggs family here in Saratoga, who you told me settled here in the 1800s. Give us just a sense of what you discovered when you went back and tried to find out all the things about the Daggs family.
All right, so at least to date, my research is letting me know that my paternal grandfather, Emery Daggs, relocated to Saratoga Springs with his mother, who had been widowed at that time. And I'm not recalling exactly which of his siblings were already born. So it's an ongoing process, but that was into the later 1800s.
Right. Now, we were talking on the African American population in Saratoga has varied over the years and whatever, but it's really interesting as part of the centennial celebration to really understand the history of all of the people that founded this city, made the contributions over the years. You were telling me that you're fourth generation.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Now that's really something. So give me a sense of the family there. How many brothers and sisters? Yeah.
Well, I am the youngest of three.
Okay.
And the only girl. And presently we just have my brother James next to me because our oldest brother, Richard, he passed away in 2011.
Sorry about that.
Well, so just the three of us.
Right. In the current generation. Now, in prior generations, you were telling me that large family. I think you were mentioning that your dad was the youngest of 8?
Yes, my father was the youngest of 8 children born to Emery Sr., Emery Daggs Sr., and my grandmother, Maud Wicks, who arrived here from Gansford. And I'm not exactly sure what year she arrived here, but my Aunt Ethel, who was the oldest of the 8 siblings, was born in 1911.
Now, to celebrate the African American traditions in Saratoga, and also to celebrate the centennial, you're part of one of Joanne Yepsen's subcommittees, the History Committee, right?
Yes.
Which is chaired, I think, by Ken Klotz, right? The former mayor?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And as part of that, you put together a photography exhibit, which is going to be on display August 4, which is a Tuesday, a dark day for the track, at the Spa Little Theater. Tell me about the exhibit.
Well, most of the images are black and white because they're that much older.
Historic, yeah.
But some of them are more contemporary and in color. And the signature image that I've kind of been posting online and around town is one of my late Aunt Ethel in one of her dress creations in Congress Park with Spit and Spat.
With Spit and Spat. Now, we've got the photograph here. Can you just hold it up for a second? I'd like people to see this, and I think we're probably also going to cut away to this photo so you can see it in more detail. But this is your aunt, correct?
Yes.
And if you have to see this photo up close, because it just really demonstrates such personality. And the dress she's wearing is absolutely stunning, and it's probably an original creation. And I think, as you were telling me before we went on air, you can tell from the shoes that this was late 1920s or maybe early 1930s, right?
Yes.
What a wonderful tradition that is. Now, the exhibit that you were just talking about, you're going to have 100 photographs to celebrate the centennial.
Yes.
They're going to span the time roughly from 1915 to 2015. Again, kind of another centennial nod, right?
Yes.
What other kind of photographs did you discover that are part of the exhibit?
Well, there was a group of the black and white negatives that this photograph was included in, and I was able to take them to Ray Supply in Queensbury and have them digitized.
Right.
Yes. So from that collection, there are about 40. So a little less than half of the exhibit, and some are my Aunt Ethel, my Uncle Junie, who was Emery Jr., and there are 6 of these images right now on view at the Visitor Center as kind of a preview.
I got you. The the wonderful thing about looking at photographs, historic photographs, is that at the time it was shot because of Ethel was the subject matter, but you get to see the backgrounds. You get to see what the landscape looked like. You get to see what Congress Park looked like, what Spit and Spat looked like, what cars were driving on the roads. So anytime you are fortunate enough to put an exhibit together like this, a lot of history, even between the lines, is shown in these photographs. We have an added bonus for you, by the way, because I mentioned at the beginning of the interview that Carol is a musician. Well, she has a jazz-ish trio, right?
Jazzage.
Yes, well, it's named Jazzage, but the music's jazz and probably a lot of influence, probably some roots in music too as well, right?
Well, we cover jazz standards,
Right.
some American songbook, and original material, which I call, some of it is my Brown Girl Blue collection.
I love it. That's great. And you will be performing on August 4th as well. So the Spa Little Theater, Tuesday, August 4, is this wonderful exhibit that pays tribute to the African-American heritage in our city, centered around her family, the Daggs family, who've been here since the late 1800s. And you get to hear some fabulous music authored by Carol Daggs. This sounds like a really well thought out idea.
We're very excited about being
are.
able to share with the community and celebrate the centennial.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing it with us. And well, delighted. I'll be there. I really want to see what this is about.
Oh,
and we'll get the word out there.
Thank
Make
you.
certain that people come to see this photography exhibit, listen to some fabulous jazz, and meet the person who's really part of this Daggs family. So thank you, Carol.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.